Assalamualaikum everyone, I'm Zainab here.
I'm Fatima,
And
we are Habib's daughter. Something that I could proudly say about my dad is that he always put his religious first against over any.
I always adore my dad where he never gave up on reading more books and doing researches on Islam to gain more knowledge. Despite me going to religious school when I was young, I have learned many things about Islam from my father itself, where he always guide me and lead me on what is right and wrong to do according to Islam.
If it is something that goes against the religious, he will leave or stop it immediately. As per that, it might not be the right thing to do for a reason.
He have always been a good example to the environment, to be a good servant to the Almighty. Not only that, he have always taught me and my siblings to always turn out to God and not anyone else when we are at our lowest.
So, he is the main person that I look up to when I have any doubts in my religious practice, such like something in act like I want to do or something that I want to commit to, whether is it acceptable or against the religious. He's the one I will look up to.
With this, I can proudly say that my dad have been a good role to me and my family on living an Islamic life. So thank you.
Good afternoon. This is Malar from Hearts&Minds Development Center. Thank you for joining Being Whole, Being Me series 99, the final. So a bit emotional, I would say, right? I'm not sure whether I'm emotional because this is the last episode, which means I don't get to wear my saris and show off, or because I get a chance to talk to someone really, I wouldn't say he's important, but you know how we all grow up, and I grew up with my only brother, and that's my brother whom I'm interviewing today, Habibullah. And when you're the only sibling and you grow up together, you get to see things that other people don't get to see. And it is emotional for me because, firstly, my brother is the right opposite of me. Yeah. If I'm loud, he's soft. If I'm outspoken, he's soft spoken. I'm a show off, he's not. But when I was thinking about my brother this morning, I realized one thing about my brother is that, I tried to compete with him when we were younger in many, many ways. And I think I've competed and won some things better than him. But I cannot match my brother's kindheartedness, goodness that I've always admired. So today is very special because my brother, for the first time, has agreed to speak in public because he is not like me at all. And it means a lot to me. And for those who have gathered, I see Alia, Gerald, Pastor Panir. Thank you for joining us. And it's me presenting my brother. But before that, I want to tell you a story because I would want to put him on screen when I tell the story. Maybe I should put him on screen. So I'm going to bring my brother, and I hope that you will recognize or realize why this man is so very special in my life. Let's bring my brother. Abang!
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Fine. Fine. How are you all there?
I'm good. I love you. Thank you for saying yes. I know you're nervous, but before that, I want to tell people who are listening in or who are watching this. I'll tell you a story about my brother that will resonate because he's the same person that I knew. This part of him has never changed. So when we were little, right? Of course, my mom was our pillar, our disciplinarian, right? So when I do something wrong, and my mother's looking for a cane, right? Or my mom wants to punish me, and she's looking for a cane. So she looked for a cane. So who's the next best person is one of us, right? So if my mother asked me for a cane to whack my brother, I'll quickly run and bring the cane for my mom. Right now, why? Because she'll say this: if you don't bring, I will whack you when I find the cane. Is what my mom used to say. I will just run out and give the cane, not because I wanted my brother to be whacked, right? But because I was so scared I'll be whacked, and I'll look at my brother because now I'm feeling horrible, right? And my mother will do the same. And when she wants to whack me, she'll ask my brother, Selvam, go and bring the cane, right? And my brother, that's Habibullah, will never ever bring out the cane to give my mother, even though he knows he might be caned afterwards. That goodness, the strength, the principle that he believed in as a child still remains that way. Which is why I'm going to bring to you and presenting to you my dearest brother, Habibullah. Okay, ma, enough. So, do you remember the story?
Not really, but yes.
You remember the Rotan, huh? You remember mommy,
Yeah,
you remember Rotan. So mommy, if you're here, say hello to everybody, mommy. So why is my brother special? So I think we grew up, and my brother never really had I would say male role model in my father. My father is a very good man, was a very good man, but unfortunately he succumbed to bad habits, which is alcohol. But what I've seen of my brother in our years of growing up is that my brother is an idealistic, old-fashioned, traditional. I'm the opposite all the time, right? I still am. And when he embraced Islam in his 20s, it was a shock for our family, shock for me. Why shock for me? Because I suddenly felt I'm going to lose my brother, who I thought that he was my best friend, my buddy. We fought a lot, we danced together. So suddenly I just felt he was different, he was distant. But over the years, I have seen my brother grow in strength and in spirituality, in his kindness, in his humanity, in his compassion. And today, I would say that, my brother is all that I would have wanted my father to be. And I feel very, very grateful that my brother has turned out so amazing. And I'm really grateful. So, Bak, tell us. No one knows your story. I think we've never spoken about it before. Um, what Tell us, how did you get attracted to Islam when you were first attracted in your 20s? I think that's when our family was going through a very, very, in fact, the most difficult time. I remember that. And I was in KL, and you were in KL for for a while, and then you went back. And so tell me, what attracted you to Islam?
Well, it's a very long story, but I think we can just cut it short to make it easy. Actually, when we are having this problem at home and we have stress, we are looking for the things, someone to help you, right? When someone to help you, of course, is God, but we don't know who is that, right? We don't know who's that, but you have that. We feel that that's what's that? There's a external power which is helping you. Okay, so but we don't know where it comes from, right? So from that extent, so I start to seek more religious people to get to know and get how to get closer to God. You see, but in a way, I got a few friends when I go to, and I meet a lot of friends which they are Muslims and non-Muslims and other religion, right? So I used to make friends with them, get to know. We are not, oppositing any religion, but the need, because you're in a difficulty, you see, so you're under stress. So we are just looking towards to get some positive things. At that time, yeah, I had a feeling. That no, why not? Just go and approach Islam, because then I went and learn to know, not to learn, to get to know about Islam. Basically, what is Islam like? How is it works? So from that sense, then I reverted to Islam. So from there, that's where I learned and proceed my life, the teaching. It's not only Islam is teaching good. All religions are teaching good. No religion teaches you bad. But only thing, what instincts you, what takes you. Yeah? So I got a choice of Islam where it took me in, and I grabbed it. And from that thing, then I just followed and follow what they are, how was the way of life. That's why the journey was very, very tough. A lot of obstacles. You have to meet friends. You have to go out. Nobody, the people talk negative about you. You see, it's the only things I believe that what I want, I just want it. But as long as the way I'm going is the correct way. That's all.
Okay, so I know. I mean, I've seen you not a lot because I was in KL, and I saw how in love you were with Islam. I saw it, and I also saw the difficulty that you had. So basically, for me, right, I thought my life was challenging, but I've had it good, in terms of education. I've had better opportunities. In terms of career, I've had better opportunities. But I've seen how, you have just stuck on with even your choice of career. I remember you chose a career that would help you to live your life. That I remember, right? Because when you had done hotel management and you couldn't deal with some things that you saw, right? And I know that even though you studied and there was like a career choice that would have been easy for you, you chose not to, and you started your business. And I've seen how hard you've worked all your life, Lynette. I've seen. If there's one thing that I would hope for, and it's so good to see you that through your difficult life, you've always stayed faithful in your faith, right? Faithful. And I love the way, every time God blesses you with goodness, with greatness, you always, give back praise to God. So I'm grateful for that. But let's go back to your conversion. So I know it was very stressful. I think for me, it was much easier because I left home. For you being in the home ground, and especially in Guntur, to hear so much of noise and then to choose a path that is difficult, because we grew up in a very strong cultural community in Guntur, right? And I know you were discriminated. I know that, all my friends are saying hello to you. That's because they know you. That's Jay. Hi, Jay. That's, yeah, hello, Abang Habib. Hi, Majid. Majid gives you salam. And Shamini is my partner in Singapore, has come in. And Dina is saying, what you've highlighted is true. The challenges of a newly converted at the end of the day is what matters to you most. Thank you, Dina. Now, so we know that, I understand that you were stressed. It's nice because you've always been a seeker, right? That I know. Even before you converted, you've always seeked, right? And so when you actually decided, you're going to be a Muslim, what was the most difficult thing for you that you yourself had to face to express your choice? Because I know you were very quiet for a while, which is why we were shocked. We heard rumors, but you were very quiet. But what was it that made it very difficult for you to come and tell us, that you have now reverted? I think there were rumors for us, but I'm sure it was difficult for you because you are a very honest person. So what was the difficulty? Because I think we want to understand from your perspective why it was so difficult for you to talk about it initially with us.
Yeah. Actually, when you reverted to Islam, basically the whole most of the people thinks, you are totally, you cannot do. I mean, they have offense on Islam. Offense in the sense that they have a lot of laws. You cannot go in. You cannot. You're separated from your family. You cannot go and see your mother. I know, and you are. You cannot do their ritual when they have any ceremonies. You cannot eat in their places. These are some bad things which is not true, which is not true, which people believe. That's why when I was reverted, this is the one, this the things which is in their mind. So when I want to expose to them, I have to expose them in a correct manner. But they are not ready to understand, because the majority of people who reverted, they're having showed the this type of negative attitudes, which is not in Islam. You see, it's very difficult. You see, for example, like the teaching says that if your mother is a Christian or she's a Hindu, she wants to go to a temple, she wants to go to a church, you as a son, you have to take her to their doorstep, to their praying temple or praying area. You are not allowed. That's all. You see, so it's very simple, which is simplified in Islam, but the understanding of outsiders, they don't understand, which most of people who reverted, they are, we can say, they are fanatic, which they don't understand the correct law of Islam. Islam teaches you how to live, how to live, how you live, you know, how you eat, how you treat your parents, how you treat your children, how you treat your sister, your brother, and your relatives and your friends. You see, this is a way of life. Okay, it's only the belief is different than other people. You see, so we cannot say that if it's not a Muslim and your mother is not a Muslim, and you can't eat, or you can't go and meet her, you can't touch her. No such thing. You see, it has been, people has created a lot of stories, and people have done it because they don't understand what they're doing. So it took me some time, but I try to tell my parents. Of course, when I told my parents, my father told me, "You're not my son." He said, "You're not my son. Your IC is bin Abdullah. It's not my name. Abdullah is your father." You see, so in that situation, I just hugged him. I said, "You might say I'm not your father. I might say you're not my father, and you're my son, and I'm your son, and you're not my father, right? But the correct thing is you're the only father, and I'm the only son. You see, if I go all over the world, there's only one father and one mother. Although we have anak angkat, bapa angkat, you see, it's only a temporary basis. But the only thing is there's only one father and one mother." You see, I told my father, then he said, no, you have changed. I said, "No, Pa, you can tell me that I'm not your son, but I'm the son. I can tell you that you are not my father, but you are my father." You see, so this stuff of teaching and this stuff of understanding of in spiritual, in a self-realization of Islam, makes the people understand what is Islam. That's the
So,
obstacles.
okay. Now, I mean, I think it's difficult. I didn't know you spoke to Appa, and I can imagine. I can imagine Appa saying that. I remember he said some things to me also. But I think, I mean, talking about it now after so many years, it's also not easy. But to have your father or mother say that you're not my child, it's not easy. It's not easy for them. It's not easy for you, right? I mean, we can say, "Oh yeah, whatever you say, you're still my parent." But at that moment when your parent is putting out something which is rejecting you, it's very hurtful, right? So, and it's good that you sustained it, because I have to say that one of those things that my brother did, which of the many things, right? But this is one of those things, right? Despite not a great relationship with our dad, when my dad was sick, my dad lived with him, and when my dad was ill, um, the way my brother looked after him was just amazing. And I think for me, that was one of the key lessons where I learned it's really not what rituals you get involved in, but really whether you look after your loved ones when they're around. And that, I think, for me was a big testimony in the way you looked after Appa when before he passed on, right? And I think that was really a testimony of your way of life. Anyway, so when Appa said that to you, right? So, and I know that you had a lot of pushbacks from family, from relatives, right? I know that because most of the time when people find out my brother is a Muslim, I think the first thing they assume is that he converted because he married a Muslim. It's either in marriage or for business, but it's not easy. I've always said, no, 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 my brother fell in love, right? And that's what really happened to my brother. Now, so when Apap did that pushback, right? You knew, I don't know whether you know or not, that was coming through. How did you, how did you understand what he was going through? Because you persisted to, I think there were bits where you sort of stayed away from the family and then you came back. You stayed away from the family. I think we had that between us, right? We tried to come together and then we'll have a misunderstanding about whenever religion was a sensitive topic for us.
Yes.
It was an emotional topic for us, right? And so it was difficult. I know it was difficult for you, right? I was right in the middle. So how did you hold on to the fact that everybody might reject you and God was enough for you? How did you, like, what made you do that?
Say again.
Okay, so when people are rejecting you, right? Everyone is, every time you talk, this is the family you grew up with. You didn't want to come together because you wanted the family together. You wanted to be in your hometown, right? You stayed back in the family for the family. And all of this, and suddenly everybody is treating you very differently. I know that our relatives wouldn't invite you for their functions. I know that because I was there, right? And for me it was very simple. If you don't invite my brother, I'm not coming either lah, because you're my brother first before you become anything, right? So but you were silent throughout. But forget about what everybody else said, right? When you're facing so much of rejection from your loved ones, when people don't understand, because it's not easy to understand what your experience, right? How did you continue to sustain yourself in finding strength in God? How did you find strength in God that made you go through all of this rejection without rejecting them? People rejected you, but you never rejected them, right?
Uh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, in this for this question, you see, when my understanding was, it's only everybody have their time for them to know what is happening. Normally, you see, some people they don't understand. For example, even myself before, when I was not reverted, I was also comparing a lot of things which I don't understand. You see, when I came to know more understanding about my new path, so in the when I start going, yes, as you said, I was often coming back to the family. Sometimes leave, I'll stay alone. Then I come back to the family. So when I go there, I get some what advice, get some knowledge about what this is not the way. This is not the way you present this to your parents. This is not where you present to your people. This is all mankind. It's created by everybody. Good and bad is God, comes from God. You see, nothing is happens without the knowledge of God. Even nothing good happens through God. If bad also happens from God. So you have to thank for everything. The more you thank, the more closer you're to with God. You see, when you're closer to God, God is the creator, right? So we are only the creation. Creator knows about the creation more better than us. So he moves the chest. When you say with chest, he fills the chest. You see, he moves what you want. He knows. You see, so in that present, in that presence, I feel that I say whatever you say, whatever you think is none of my business. What I'm supposed to do as a Muslim, as a good Muslim, I have to what are the teachings in Islam? I just follow. And of course, it is stated that whatever you do good, of course, it will be rewarded. And Alhamdulillah, so far he has been rewarding. It's rewarding and rewarding and rewarding. You see, so it also takes some time. Take times whether you have desire, you are persistent. It's only a test. I feel it's only a test for you whether can you go through this exam, whether can you go through with these people's anger, go through people who throw you. Are you are the same as you believe my words, as you believe the religion, as you believe the way of life. You see, but and you believe that there's a resurrection day of judgment. and you will get what's the reward is good and bad. You see, this is what we believe. When I have the strong belief on this, so these are problems in the world is nothing. You have to just go through, because it's like a snake wants to beat you. It means it's the strong of I mean, dia punya apa nama, what we say, his dia punya attitude suggests that a dog is barking to bite. It's the dog. You see, so we cannot act as a dog. We cannot act as a snake and bite them back. You see, God has created them. So it means, I'm going through a time, a sorrow time, where people have to bark to me, bite me, scold me, throw me. You see, so I feel that I mean, God is elevating me, or upgrading me, or giving me some points. You see, we don't think bad about people. Just don't think about people. Let it go itself.
Okay, nice. All my friends who are watching, I'm sure they are wishing I'm a bit like you. Let it go, But you know me, right? Okay, all right. Thanks. Because I think I admire your acceptance of God's will all the time. Whether it's I've seen you accepting God's will in your most difficult time. And I think that is what amazes me and about your faith. Okay, Shamini has asked a question. I'm going to bring it up. You can answer, but Shamini, after this, I also must answer. What will you say now to your sister, that is me, Malar Villi, then when you made the decision you made? Do you remember what you said to me when you became a Muslim?
Oh, I can't remember.
Okay, so if you were to do it again, like, is there anything that, like, did I give you a difficult time when you wanted to become a Muslim?
No.
I think I was your main supporter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sham, if you want to know, I can't remember when my brother told me personally, but it's not what he said to me, but I remember this, right? My brother, when he became a Muslim, I saw his pain of not being able to practice openly, and that hurt me a lot. I remember how, I think at that time, I don't think you had converted officially, if I remember, when you stayed with me in Stapa, right? He was struggling between the current life, which was, and the life that Islam called him. I saw him struggling when he made choices of food. I saw him struggling when we went to funerals and there were rites that he believed was hurting the soul. I would see him tear because he felt helpless about helping people. That's what I saw in my brother. And I've said this to many, many people, right? And I will say this to Sham and to everybody, right? I often wonder, because I think before, and that's leading into the next question. My brother was carefree, he was fun, he was a good person, but he was very, very hot tempered. I still think he's hot tempered, right? He's very hot tempered. People are terrified of him with his temper. Betul kan, bang? Right? We are terrified about his temper. The one thing I have seen of my brother is this: he only, every day of his life after he embraced Islam, I saw him struggling, and I saw him trying his best to become a better Muslim every day. And that's why I started actually learning or reading a bit more about Islam, because I wanted to understand what made this man so special, right? He gave up a lot of the way of life after he reverted. And which is what I probably want to ask. So, Sham, I don't know whether I answered your question. I was my brother's main supporter, and I plan to be until I seize the world, because I just love this guy. Now, I think one of those things, when we talk about, when you reverted, tell us about the habit or selvam, right? When you converted, what are lifestyle changes you made? Because I know you made major lifestyle changes, right? Uh, Yeah, share with us a little bit so that people understand or people can see what I see in you. So tell us about some lifestyle changes you made.
Lifetime changes is only a basic thing which normally, I used to go and enjoy. I have an outgoing life, so I reduce it, and now I stopped it. I only go and attend only the functions which is really important, you know. And last time I like to enjoy with all big groups, with occasions and all. But nowadays, I feel that I don't have that type of sort of entertainment.
Mm,
I just and I change the way we speak to people. You know, uh, less down my temper. Appreciate what you have. You know, then we don't ignore anybody, and every mankind, human are the same. It's
mm,
only the belief because it's created by God, right? So anybody, for
mm,
example, even a beggar comes to me, I call him brother, Anne.
mm,
Even a bad person comes to me, I just respect them. I say I will just respect them just because you are mankind created by
mm,
God. We wouldn't know. God will just change us anytime. Maybe
mm,
God has given you good things today. It will just take seconds to change you tomorrow. And the person who doesn't have anything, or maybe his illness, or maybe he's not with his bad attitude, he also can be changed within seconds. It's only the need of God. So nothing is everything is temporary. Like I say, I'll say everything is temporary. Even me is temporary. You
mm.
see, so I changed the life, changing my life through the way of Islam. That's all. Nothing much. Nothing very very special. It's only how a human should act. You know, that's what.
Yeah,
Nothing
yeah,
much.
but you stopped dancing with me, so that's my greatest loss. You stopped dancing with me. Yeah, I want to ask you, if you, what was the most difficult change you had to make to you as a person, or even something? Yeah. So when we talk about lifestyle changes, I mean, we were party goers, we sing, we dance, we drink, right? And so these are things that we can see. But if you look at once you became a Muslim, you need to make the way you live was different, right? And you keep struggling with that, right? And that's what change is all about. What is the most difficult change that you felt like you when you tried it was so difficult for you to shift? Was there any?
Actually, every single thing which has practice is difficult for me.
Okay.
It was difficult because I was practicing for so many years, and
Mm,
suddenly I have to change myself.
mm,
You see, like for example, when I was a hotelier, I do have alcohol.
mm,
I take alcohol. Nobody knows. You see,
mm,
when I was reverted, I said, no way, you have to. Just I'm forced to. And
mm,
I said, if you want to believe, if you want to follow, you have to stop. These type of things, every single thing. Let's say you use not good words to people and scolding people. It's also you have to change. It's not easy because it's used. I'm used to it, right? So from that thing to change into a new life, it's not easy. Everything was difficult, but only thing whether you do it just because that you want it,
mm,
and you want to be appreciated by God.
mm,
It's not no. Sometimes you're good, sometimes you're bad, sometimes you're good, sometimes you're bad. You see, because we believe that you are going to get the reward. For example, whatever we do,
mm,
you should have a reward.
mm,
Even see in a material world, when we go to study, we want to have a good result. When you have a good result, we go to a good job, then good salary. Everything is a result. You see,
mm.
only so that's where we believe that once we do good, do good things, and you got a good reward. Of
Okay.
course, there is the,
Okay. I mean, I know this of you, but I was wondering whether you had anything that was difficult for you, right? Like, because like you're a totally different person over the years, right? And I think your friends know that, we know that, and you know that there are some parts of us that we miss the old you, right?
I do
And
get. I actually most of my friends are left when I reverted. Most of
mm,
people didn't want to come closer to me. They thought, they, as you said before, maybe they thought I got married to a Muslim, or maybe I going to get some reward from somewhere else when I reverted. Maybe I'm going to get
mm,
some business and all sorts of things. But actually, it was not true.
mm,
It was not true. You see, it's only the belief that you have. Everybody have the belief that spiritually, the calling has been done
mm,
by God. So
mm,
I got it.
mm. So when all your friends left you, because we know your life was all about your friends, right? You're for you when you were younger, right? If we don't find you at home, we know your friends, we find your friends, right? And I know almost all of them dispersed and left you, right? As to for a while, right? Did anyone ever come and stop and ask you what happened or why you became Muslim? Was that question ever thrown to you? Or people assumed and just
Yeah,
left you?
yeah. They came, and some I got a very good close friend. He just
Mm,
came over and he saw me. He asked me what happened to you. I said, why you reverted? I said, no, I like lah. I just simple. I didn't want to have any arguments. You see, it was very sensitive when you go reverted into Islam. It's very sensitive. So when they come and ask me, I said, I like, that's why. So it's okay lah. You go your way, I go my way. They are good friends. They are good friends such as that until now. Until now. So it's only maybe I feel and I understood that this is a test for me to
mm,
test my anger, to test my patience, and to test my trust in God, that my test in the religion. You see, whenever anything, I just refer to the prophecies, riwayah, then I read it, see whether. So we are nothing.
mm.
So these things not happening now. This is happening few thousand years ago.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Now, so tell me, I think we want to talk about support. So before that, before asking of support, Shamini, my good friend from Singapore, is asking you a question. She's asking, what was easy about taking a different path? So when you chose a different path, what was easy about the path in Islam for you?
Easy in a sense is only how you practice and how you accept it. Nothing's easy. What I understand, when whatever you follow, if you take it easy, it's easy. If you take it difficult, it's difficult. You
Mm,
see, only thing is how your heart and your soul and your mind is receiving it and accepting it. So
mm,
if it's very difficult, if you accept it correctly, it's easy for you.
mm. Okay. So your acceptance of the teachings of Islam made it easy for you to try the difficult things. Am I right?
Uh,
Because you
Not
no.
no. What I'm trying to say is, let's say if you have difficult things, you when you have trust in God,
Mm,
the belief, and you have the teaching, and you have the what's that guidance.
mm.
So the things makes easy, not easy. Makes you easy a bit. As I said
Okay.
before, nothing is
Mm,
easy, right? But it makes you a bit easier.
mm,
Make easier. It means, you see, the only thing is, when you want to make easy, is only your mental and your heart. If these two is strong, so any obstacles comes, you can take over. You can overcome the obstacles. If not, you cannot overcome. You see, it means if your mental and your heart is weak, it's difficult for you to attend any problems. Even even it's a small problem is occurs to you.
okay. Okay, Bang, I want to ask you, if you look at the relationships that you have lost, because we look at our old times in the relationship, right? What would you consider the the most painful or greatest loss which you wish you didn't have to lose as a result of your reversion? Any relationship that you feel, or
Actually,
is there anything you feel, yeah, this one I don't need to lose, like, but it doesn't have to be so bad. So is there anything that you've lost?
I think I just follow the flow. What is going to happen, it is already written. You see, you have to chosen the path, and in that part, you are going to have a lot of obstacles and a lot of problems. So I just accept it as one of my problems.
No,
Accept
I
it one of
understand.
my what's that?
No, I understand that about you, because your acceptance to God's will is very high. But as a human, let's talk about you as a human. And when we go through losses, acceptance is one thing, but the pain is real, right? There are some relationship you wish, yeah, no need to misunderstand, no need to, we don't have to lose it, right? And so, from a human perspective, as a person, are there,
Yes,
tell
I
me
do.
one relationship that you feel, you don't have to name the relationship, right? But what is that one relationship you wish it wasn't so difficult or lost that way? I don't know.
It was one of my very close friend.
Okay.
So we have some from that. It's until now. I think it's going to be around 30 over years. 30 over years. Until now, we still have the distance. But we when we see each other, we just hi and hi only. You see, but we wouldn't know what's happening. So it's a pain. Maybe he has the same pain. We wouldn't understand. What's his pain? We don't understand. You see, but what the pain we have, he don't understand. You see, only thing is only we are very coward, having personal reasons. You see, as a good friend or as a good this thing, whoever who he reverted or is not reverted or he's good or not good, still is your friend, because everybody has their way of life.
Nice. Thank you.
When they have this type of understanding, I think we don't have enemies.
Nice. Nice. When I come to Ipoh, you tell me with the friend's name, huh? Now don't tell, but later you tell, okay? I will come and ask you. Now, so this is really interesting because of the pain that you've actually experienced in the rejection of relationship that really mattered to you. Because for you, I know friendships and relationships are important, huh? Family members who are important, and you have selective people, right? Now, if you look at somebody else who's converting, not necessarily to Islam, let's not talk about people converting to Islam, because for you to support someone who converts to Islam is easy, right? Because you're a Muslim and you're a good Muslim, right? Now, when you hear, have you, like, when you talk to people who are converting into another religion that's not of their original religion, right? How do you support them or help them, be accepted, like in your relationship with them? I don't know.
They are reverting to
No, so let's say I'm
they
choosing,
revert.
I'm I'm going into another religion, not my the religion I'm born into. So I'm becoming, and I'm talking to you, or my family is rejecting me, for example, right? What advice or support would you offer to someone like?
Oh, in through my experience going through this type of problems,
Mm,
my advice, I'll just advise them to get to know about the new religion which you're going to revert, and you have to know more about it, and from that get some ideas, or get some advice, and give it to your mostly firstly to your parents. He said
mm,
mainly the first person is going to hurt is your parents, because
mm,
the parents, as me, I when I have kids, my kids want to revert to other religion. Of course, we will feel hurt. You
mm.
see, so maybe the child don't understand, or maybe the father doesn't understand. You see, either party, they don't have the understanding of the reversion or the religion. You see, they have to communicate with their parents, talk to their parents, and make a decision, or and put them in the correct point, the facts and right, to make so there's less. Of course, there's a hurt. Of course, there will be a hurt, but the hurt will be less
You
with a
minimize the
good
pain.
understanding, good parties. Yeah.
Thank you,
So
thank you.
nobody can stop any other people.
You can't stop people feeling hurt, but you can minimize the pain, is what you're saying, by talking through it
Yes.
and understanding what you're doing. Huh? Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say now, right? I mean, let's talk about this. I think the whole idea of, having this conversation is really, for us to not to be divided by spiritual choices people make. Because a lot of times when people revert, to another, when they make their personal choice, families generally break up. And I think we have seen that in our family. I'm very grateful that we are back together in many ways, right? The extended families, I think things are a lot more better in terms of acceptance, but it has taken years for us to go through this, right, as a family. Now, if people who are watching this or listening this, right, if their family member is going through a different spiritual experience for whatever reason, it could be because they fell in love, or it could be because, they fell in love with the religion, any religion, right? How do you think, as a person who faced rejection, right? How do you think families can support the person, talk about it without breaking the family ties? What can we do to support people who are going through this, who are choosing a new life, which we may not understand? What can family members
Actually, these type of issues, when people wants to revert and this and that to other religion or other belief,
do?
the family, every family have their own opinion of doing. But prospectively, when you go into religion, religion means its way of life.
Mm,
Every you name it, any religion never teaches you bad habits and bad things, only good. You see, so when you really follow any religion, you will never break the family if you really follow. You see, no teaching, no religion teaches you to kill, to shout at your mother, you fight with your friends. No religion,
mm,
right?
mm,
So it means if he's really following the new reverted religion or new belief, the whole family doesn't have any problem. Because when the problem comes, divides and rule, it comes just because of the person who believe. Maybe they are very what's that, what we say, they're very taksuk, or very, but there's no religion as taksuk. There's no religion as saying that you must do, you fight each other.
mm,
So the person who reverts,
mm.
he or she, or the parents who follows the religion teaching, there will be no problem at all. It's only
Nice.
the belief. You see, it's only a belief where it takes you spiritually. You see,
Mm,
so it doesn't mean that, for example, it doesn't mean that you reverted, you went into other Islam, you're different. We are all the same. It's only the belief. You see, you must always understand it's only the belief. When you have the belief and you follow the structure of the belief, I think nobody have problems. Even the household, family, brothers, sisters, obviously you have give and take, and respect each other. What you're
mm,
supposed to do, you just do. And what suppose they should do to you, they do to you.
mm,
There's no problem.
mm.
There's no divide, there's no rule.
Okay, nice. Thank you, thank you. My friend Nini Chong is saying she can't get over how cute you two are being. And she thinks you and I are very cute, Lane. I don't know. But Shamini has said something interesting. But before we go into Shamini's very interesting comment, what you're basically saying, which is something that all of us know, religion, God doesn't divide. But when we get divided, it is the choices that we are making because we probably don't understand it well. Because nowhere in any religion or way of life that you embrace, it divides people, is what you're saying, right? Betul kan?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So if you realize Sham wants to know why I'm not calling you Anne, I'm calling you Bang. Well, that's how we talk, not because not because of his religious status, but we grew up talking in Tamil, which is Anne, and we speak a lot in Malay, in Bahasa. So that's how we call abang. So even among each other, among our friends, we call each other bang. So that's Shamini. I hope I've answered your question. Harry Menon has an interesting question, I think, before we close. Would you be able to advise on how two people from two opposing spiritual belief systems live in harmony as a couple without, wow, having to compromise on their respective lifestyle, especially without interference from the community they live in? I.e., each person has their own total and complete freedom of choice and decision. So, well, I think you know what Hadith is asking. I think, Hadith, this is an interesting question. Um, it's an interesting question, but we know that, if you're a Muslim, that doesn't happen. So, from a different perspective, how do you see two people from different belief systems? I think you might even share the same religion but have different beliefs, right? Right? Depending on, yeah. So if you have a
Yeah, yeah.
couple, what he's asking is, there are a couple, how do you live your own life and still be together? Okay. And then he asked, especially without any interference from the communities.
I
Yeah. So I'll let you answer it first.
I think when you have this type of issue, it's very difficult because spiritual belief in two becomes one is difficult. You have to choose either one.
Mm, mm,
You have to choose either one in a sense where maybe the other party A goes to B or B goes to A,
mm,
where you have there's no complication in your life. When you have
mm,
these both things, which is together in your life, it's very difficult because one might be right, one might be wrong, and this one might be right, this one might be wrong. So
mm,
it won't get together at all.
mm,
So you have to give and take, and if you give and take, also you cannot give and take a lot because the
mm,
belief and the spiritual life is totally different. But it's the belief.
mm,
So what's my advice is you have to just get either one.
mm,
Both of them have to go through one belief
mm.
because you are in the one house.
But if you can't compromise, I think that's what, because I think
Yeah.
if I if I believe in my religion, I grew up in one particular religion and I'm married to someone who grew up in another religion, right? Of course, non-Islamic, right? And when we get married, I think very often, I think the ideal is if one of us converts, reverts, and we have one particular religion, one structure to follow. But I think the world is getting so diverse that these different things, people want to retain their power of choices. So what you are saying is that the best is for a family is they come together, is what you are saying, is, and don't live in the differences. Huh? All right. So Hari, there was no advice pertaining to what you were saying, and I would just say that we need to focus on the the similarities, and the core is what I would say. Now, let me see. I think there's one more. Is there another more question? Okay. How many years after you converted did you get married? Alia is asking, how did her family take this all? Did you have any obstacles? Oh boy. Okay. Boleh jawab?
Yeah, I got married when after reverting after I think 5 to 6 years. After reverting to 5 to 6 years, then I got married, and my couple was also reverted. See, I was looking towards to get married. So one of my friend advised and told me that there's one reverted proposal, which available. So I said, go ahead. Then from that, then I got married, and even my spouse now is reverted before getting married.
So she didn't revert because she fell in love with you, Annie. She already
No, no,
reverted,
no,
and
no.
then only y'all got together. Okay. Alia, thank you for asking the
Yes,
question
yes.
because even I didn't know the story. Okay. So yes, my sister-in-law is also a revert, and she's amazing, right? And how did her family take all of this? Of course, she also went through her own stuff, right, when she reverted. Betul kan?
Yeah, yeah. She was having a very tough time also in the house, and the family
Mm.
doesn't know that she has reverted. The worst part. And then I went to their house and talked to them. Then I'm the one who said that your wife, I mean your daughter, is also reverted. That's the day which I put a bomb in the house.
Mm.
Until they were shocked to see say that the under know that the daughter has been reverted very long ago.
Okay, so they didn't know lah. Okay, Annie, we have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
have another interview with you. You should have done all of this, but let me talk to you privately, Annie. Yeah? Okay, and anyone who gets a chance to meet my sister-in-law, she is awesome. All right, the right type for my brother lah. Now, last question, yeah. Before anyone else asks any question, you know, Chu has come in and said something. He says, look at potential good and potential harm. All right. In terms of support. If I want you to imagine today, after years of reversion, right, you have also evolved as a Muslim. As a person, you've evolved, you've grown. I've seen a lot of growth in you. Now, I want you to imagine with the current knowledge and wisdom that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine your current mindset that you have today about Islam, about life, about relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming today is the day you decide to revert, that I want you to go back to the in your 20s when you decided to revert, right? If you have the wisdom that you have today and you go back to the past, what would you do different?
Oh, it will be very beautiful. It will be very beautiful just because I've already known the way how to move, how to present my words to my parents and to my friends. It will be very beautiful and very smooth, and I don't lose friends. It will be very, very nice
Nice.
because last time it was empty, empty without any knowledge. Now
Mm.
when I have the knowledge and gone through and you have experience, and we know what are the problems I've gone through, and I have experience, so that I know what's going to happen. I
Yeah.
can just smoothly, very smoothly, and everybody will be happy. Even we don't have to wait for so many years to get together. And we don't have this type of problems.
Nice. Nice.
I
Thank
think
you.
I think I think if this is a time which God has given me the opportunity, I think my whole family will come
Ay,
revert
ada
because I
juga
have
eh.
other idea, ma, because I already have
Memang.
the how to move.
Yeah. Okay. All right, then I wouldn't be wearing my sari and having this conversation, but I know that's your everlasting wish for the family to revert, right? Thank you very much. I think I've asked the question. Just one last thing before you leave. I think Amma might be listening. Amma might be watching. What would you like to say to Amma?
Oh, this I will just thank my mom because she has given me a life in this world, and what's that? Furthermore, she doesn't throw me out, although she have hurt have some hurts in her heart, but still she understand and she is still compromising with me, and this I take this opportunity to thank my mom, that I'll do what I'm supposed to do, and I hope she accept me as a good son.
Ah, okay, mommy, if you're listening, you better go and tell your son whether he's a good son or not because he's waiting for you to tell him. Okay, mommy? All right. So before we say goodbye, and I thank you so much for saying yes to this. I know this is difficult. Is there anything else you would like to tell people who are listening before we say goodbye?
Oh, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. At least I can say it out what in my heart, and especially to you, because give me a chance. And thank you for everyone for listening. And if there's any words are not good and not correct, which is hurting y'all, and I think I take an opportunity to apologize me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I love you very, very much. I admire you. Wow, I love you. When I come and see you, I give you a hug. Are you comfortable enough to say you love me to the whole world now?
Why not?
Tell lah, tell lah.
Misty lah, because you are my sister, no?
Jangan mesti cakap sekarang.
Yes, you can hug me, no problem. We are blood sister and brother.
Correct, correct. But you must say I love you.
I love you. I love you, my sister.
All right. With that, Annette, thank you so much. God bless you. And thank you for saying yes. So as we say goodbye to my brother, that was my brother. For all those who are listening, Harith, Chu, Shamini, Gerald, Nini, Jacqueline, Alia, did I miss anybody? Louis, Jasmine, Intan, Anita, Majid, Jay, Dina, Kirtana, Panir. I think I've covered everybody. So thank you for joining us. And this is very special for me because this is our last one. And I want to thank everybody who has always come to support me in the show, Being Whole, Being Me series 99. And with that, I want to thank you, wish you all the best. And I hope the show has served you in the ways that I hope it would serve you. With that, this is Malar signing off really for good from Being Whole, Being Me. Stay blessed. Till we meet another time, another place, maybe another show. Take care. Bye.